Well, hello everyone, and welcome in to the Six Screens Telenetwork tonight. Well, we got two dynamic people coming on. We got Gonzalez brothers, that would be Gilbert and Jesse. So we got them coming on the Six Screens tonight, and they got their program, A Tale of Two Witnesses. So we're looking forward to see what they have to say. Let's bring Gilbert on right now, and let's bring on his brother Jesse. Okay, we got them both on. Hello, Gilbert. Hello, Jesse.
Wow. Good evening.
Well, good evening. We've got a lot of people that are coming in here tonight, so I think you're going to have a big audience. I'm glad you could come on with us, and sorry for the delay, but thank you for hanging in with us. So I listened to Gilbert. Gilbert had a great video that he did in the last couple of days. I listened to it today, all about money and Trump and Kennedy and how assassination attempts have taken place. So I found that very fascinating. You guys are doing a great job here in the Six Screens. We appreciate your presence. Found that very fascinating. Yeah. So I'll step out of here and let you guys do it. But I'm here if you need me. Okay.
Okay, real good. If I may say so myself, that was a very good video on the GG for GB channel of Kennedy and the money, right? Killing Lincoln, killing Kennedy, killing Trump. And I love the new GB of the board. That's what you've seen right there. The new GB of the board. And also we're gonna do this. I'm gonna if you guys want to come on, this is how you get on in about 5 minutes. We'll let you guys in. So, and then in about 5 minutes, I'll go ahead and star it so that way you guys can come in the show. Hey, Jesse, I will take issue with what Rick and everybody else was talking about that Watchtower came up with all this new information in their annual. Is it annual or anal meeting? And
the annual
meeting, and we're gonna take issue with what they're saying on the Six Screens, and I think the people in the comment section in the chat knew what you were referring to, and they kind of agreed with you. And I think Rick is just a little too humble, a little too nice. So I made a little video explaining this. I made it myself.
Much you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, "Please, please, it's too much winning.
Stop all this covering up of child molest.
We can't take it anymore, Mr. President. It's too much."
This is for you.
And I'll say, "No, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more."
Those witnesses regularly cover up child molest.
Derek O'Hare?
Why does those witnesses keep covering up child molesting?
We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you all.
That's going to be a topic of conversation at Pizza Hut.
So, Jesse, why are we winning? Why are the apostates winning? And is it true that Watchtower was listening to the Six Screens and got scared and changed course?
Well, I think we attacked it. Did you feel? I felt a spirit with Rick. And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds okay. I felt like there was a spirit of defeatism because we were expecting a lot. Remember, we were talking to JP, we were talking to Jimmy, Ruby Quinn, we're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out what's going to happen next because they did a whopper last time with the beards and the pantsuits and then before that with the field service. So we were expecting a lot. And we said, you know what, tone it down a little bit because Watchtower always has a way of just, remember like in the movie Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. When Lloyd, he goes, just when I think you couldn't get any dumber, you come back and totally redeem yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think Watchtower totally redeemed themselves. I really think that. I think they toned it down because they had been listening to us apostates. They've been listening to the Rick Fearon show. They've been listening to Mike and Kim. They've been listening to Lloyd. They've been listening to all the apostates. And we just dismantle the beards. We dismantle everything. And I think that collectively, all the apostates just hammering all the changes that they did, I think it scared them. I really think that. And they retreated.
So when Watchtower says we're going to bring out the new light, and then they say, "Oh, hold on, I don't think we're ready for that." They wanted to bring out the new light, the new Coke, but they quickly found out that, hey guys, the apostates are gonna.
And you know what? I gotta say this. This is just speculation. I have no proof of this. But I'm Monday morning quarterbacking this. I'm armchair quarterbacking general this. And this is the only rationale that I could come up with, because like to quote Rick called it a nothing burger, and he's right. He's right. The changes, the two new governing body and the little changes that they made is nothing compared to the last couple of years. So I really think they took a beating, an ass whooping from us, the apostates, and they toned it down. They're still going to do the changes that JP talked about, like the birthdays, the 144,000, Christmas. They might celebrate Christmas in the future, but they're just not going to do it at the annual. What is it? The annual meeting.
Yeah. Okay. So all of you that are watching this show, that do YouTube videos, that are apostates, all of you guys, you know who you are. Make sure you get your notepad, because this is where you take notes, where we give you show prep for your videos. You ready? So now we're going to give you the information you need for your videos. Here's the show prep. 3 words. Mark Anthony Ortiz. Mark Anthony Ortiz. I grew up with him. 1987. He was a regular pioneer. We graduated in 89. And guess what? We visited Bethel right after graduation. The year later, he goes in 1990 to Bethel. He's part of the Gilead graduation because he knew there was going to be layoffs in New York. He's serving in Bolivia. Why in the hell does the governing body not name a Mexican American at least? You don't want to name a Mexican in the governing body, but at least this guy's a Mexican American, is bilingual, English and Spanish, has the last name of Ortiz, a common Spanish name.
Very handsome.
Very handsome. He has all of the attributes. So you say, yeah, this is a Latin guy who actually has served in the field. Let's bring him in. And I'm going to put this out there because we want to find Mark Anthony Ortiz and ask him. Those of you who know anybody in Bolivia, get it out there.
No, Gilbert, let me answer your question. Go ahead. If you listen to, and you got to give credit to, I think it was JW Thoughts, if anybody knows it. And I think Caleb on the in YouTube, they had great videos. They were streaming it. Yeah. And I think JW Thoughts brought it out first. And
what do you say?
And something that they said, that these 2 new governing body members are of the anointed class. And JW Thoughts made a great point. I thought it was a great point.
Go ahead.
That some of the older brothers who are 50 and up, if you would have got like a guy like you say, Mark Ortiz, a young guy like that, who is not of the anointed class, the brothers that are 60, 70, or 80 years old, they would have said, whoa. This guy doesn't, from this generation, that generation, the overlapping generation, we come to expect older brothers, not brothers who are in their 40s, 50s, or 60s.
But he's still he's still older than Mark Sanderson.
Yes, but the new governing body were, I think they have like about 20 to 30 years as pioneers and of an anointed class. So they specifically are looking for people who have been about 20 years anointed or more. So they're still sticking to that. They haven't let it go. They know, let's say they get a 50-year-old kid who's just been anointed 1 or 2 years, 50-year-old guy. The older people are going to say, wait a second. This doesn't fit the generation. They're still holding on to the generation teaching.
Okay. However, for example, I'm going to go back to Mark Ortiz because I want Mark, because I've done this before with a video on Mark Ortiz. Mark Ortiz is a Gilead graduate who has boots on the ground experience as a missionary.
Yes.
And he's Mexican American. So why did they not name Dikembe Mutombo? Somebody like that. Dikembe Mutombo died. He was an NBA player, for those of you that don't know. But he's from Ghana, right? So Dikembe Mutombo. Why do we not have a governing body member with a name like Dikembe Mutombo? Why do we not have a governing body member like Mark Anthony Ortiz? That's my saying. What I'm saying is they had a perfect opportunity to announce 2 members of the governing body that would represent Asia in like, Chop Suey Yang, something like that. But no, they dropped the ball on Asia, they dropped the ball on Africa, they dropped the ball on the Middle East, and they dropped the ball on all of Latin America. And what do? They named, and I don't have nothing. White people have been very, very good to me. I have no problem with white people, but enough already. I mean, you would think if you're trying to grow an international company, you would have an international face. And somebody like Mark Ortiz you could say he's a Gilead graduate with over 20 years of experience in the Gilead field, on boots on the ground. What I'm saying is there's so much potential to choose from. We know all of the good people have left Watchtower. You guys know it. And we're going to talk about that, how Watchtower right now is a coalition of losers. The losers are staying behind, and everybody who loves liberty, loves freedom is leaving. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But even in 2024, Jesse, there are Jehovah's Witnesses that have practical experience that are a little bit dark, a little bit, on the pale yellow side, who would represent a different part of the world. But Watchtower, so what happens is you give, by doing this, by having 2 white boys from that were butt kissers of the governing body, you only make it. The people in Mexico are going to be saying, this is a white boy religion from New York. See, it gives them more. You're giving the apostate. I hate to say this, but I'm counseling Watchtower. If I was a PR firm, I would be telling Watchtower, you need black men from Africa, even if it's just a title. But just give them the position.
Gilbert, let me throw you a curve.
Go ahead.
Let me throw you a curve. This is what I think. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense to the rational day-to-day operations. But look, let's take, everything is political now. So I'm going to get a little political, but it's not really political. I'm using it as an illustration of what happened in our organization.
Go ahead.
Look at Kamala Harris. She's running for president to become the first female black president. So it would stand to reason, who does she pick? A pasty white liberal. I mean, one of the most liberal people outside of Kamala Harris to ever run as vice president, Tim Walz. I mean, just way out there, borderline Chinese Communist Party stuff. Just way out there. Tampon Tim, tampons in the boys' bathroom. I mean, just way out there. Why? She couldn't pick a black Democrat or a Latino Democrat? Okay. Same thing with Watchtower. Why do they go to an Anglo? Could it be that the ones outside are true believers? For example, Mark Ortiz, could it be he is a true believer in Christ? Could it be that they pick somebody who they know they have complete and total control?
Absolutely.
Maybe it's controlled opposition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you run the risk by bringing in a person out there in the field that he might be like a Raymond Franz, a true believer in Christianity, a true believer in Christ. So you pick a person who is a theocrat. And here's the thing, American Jehovah's Witnesses are less ideological than, for example, when we were in the Spanish congregation, we were ideologues. We believed in Jesus Christ. When my brother, who was in the English congregation, told me, hey, we're going to watch the annual meeting, I go, fuck that shit. I don't watch that shit. And I don't watch that stuff. But because we were in the Spanish congregation, we didn't care about the governing body back then in the 90s. But our brother was in the English. They're more theocratic than they are Christian in a lot of places. So could it be that's why the governing body goes after these guys? It's not so much the color of their skin. It's just they're more closely aligned politically and spiritually with a theocrat than a Christian person. So you get somebody from Africa, you get somebody from Latin America, they might be a Christian, and it would upset the apple cart in Bethel. Like Raymond Franz did.
Okay, so we'll leave that to the chat to decide to think if whether you're right or wrong. I kind of like it. I like it a lot. It's too risky to bring in somebody like that into the fold, even though they have the resume. Even though they have the resume, yeah. And who do they pick? People that are helpers that have been. You're right. They're just theocrats. They're like bureaucrats.
Paper pushers, pencil pushers.
Yeah.
They don't have no skin in the game. They haven't been in concentration camp. They haven't built kingdom halls. These are pencil pushers. They're bureaucrats. And the JW.org organization is an organization of bureaucrats. They're not Christian men out there in the field. And when they talk about in the field, they're talking about knocking on doors. Let's say they get a brother who, remember the disciple James? He says the only form of worship that God approves of is to take care of the orphans and the widows. You bring in a person like that, he'll disturb the apple cart.
Correct. Wow. So that was one. Okay, so we went over that. We also went over the fact that we think the analysis in the JW World News is wrong. That we're winning. That Rick Farron and company, everybody on all the other shows are setting.
We're going too fast. When I mentioned that, let's slow it down a little bit and maybe get some comment from the chat, chat section. Are we wrong? Our interpretation, and I really believe in the annual meeting, what happened before our eyes was a victory for the apostates. Now, JW Suicide says she doesn't like to use the word apostates, and I'm with JW Suicide. I am in complete agreement with them. But I'm playing the devil's advocate. I'm using their terminology. Us, the people who are not current active publishers, I think it was a victory for us, the apostates, what they call the apostates. Could I be wrong? What do you think, Gilbert?
No. I kind of agree with it. Like you said, don't rock the boat. And I did agree with Rick Farron about the Supreme Court. You're packing the court. This is what communists are. The playbook. They pack the Supreme Court, and then it makes it impossible for the opposition to or it makes it impossible for people like Anthony Morris and company to have a majority vote. So and how do they do it? They surround themselves with people in the governing body or in government that really do not have no world life experience, that have never really built anything.
And Gilbert, let's talk about the Friday party effect, the Friday night party. And a lot of people don't know about the Friday night party. Friday night party is when you invite friends. And can you explain that phenomenon? Rush Limbaugh used to talk about it a lot.
You do.
Okay. And at a Friday night party, and you invite your family and friends, and nobody goes. You have another one. You have another one. You have another one. But every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, you have a Friday night party where everybody shows up. You have the greatest time. You guys have a great get together, family, friends, and you stay up to the wee hours of the morning just talking. It's a complete and total fantastic party. And you guys get up the next week and you say, you know what? That party was so good. Let's do it again this Friday. And nobody shows up to your party because it's too hard to duplicate success. I think that's what happened a little bit with Watchtower, with this annual meeting. They had an annual meeting of annual meetings last year. They had the beards. They came out with all those changes. It's kind of hard for them to duplicate it. I mean, they went all out. And so they were like in ecstasies with the success, the beards. I even think that the beginning speaker, he talked about it in such glowing terms. I can't remember the quote, but Beagle, whatever his name is, he talked about the beardess of excellence, or I can't remember but he gave it a real lofty name.
Yeah.
So these people got spiritually high with the beard last year. It's kind of hard to outdo it. So they're glowing. They probably didn't need to do the 144,000 that everybody's going to partake. They didn't need to do the birthdays because they're still in party mode over that beard. It was a complete success for them. Yeah. And so all that, they're going to tone it down.
That could be true. That could be true. But I really did think that they saw the writing on the wall. They saw how all of the apostates were ready and prepared. And I think they came in unprepared. So that's what I would say the focus group told Watchtower. the focus group told Watchtower, "Hey, man, so I really believe, that it's the apostates that have control of the agenda, and sometimes we don't even know it."
See, that's scary. That's scary. So that means that all the brothers, all on YouTube, on social media, on Twitter, like Jamie Bell says, he's on Twitter, and everything that all the apostates do, it gets back to Watchtower. They're watching. They're listening.
Yeah, because see, if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're looking at this sign, it says, "What can I do? I'm just one person," said 7 million people. Over here it says 7 billion. But so just change that word billion to a million, and let's just say that sign was in a Jehovah's Witness rally. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're thinking, "What can I do? I can't stop Watchtower. I'm just one person." But that's not true. And Watchtower knows that, for example, in the United States of America, we have what we the people. It says "we the people." So Watchtower knows that the power is in the individual.
Yeah.
But if we don't keep reminding ourselves of that, then we're actually going to think that they're in charge, when in reality, no, we are in charge. And the apostates have given Watchtower a good run. And like in that video I did, was in the beginning, we are winning. It showed Derek O'Hare. Derek O'Hare, rest in peace. He single-handedly changed, the apostate movement in the conventions and in the kingdom halls. Security went up. And then Zeb also went up. He started doing the Kingdom Hall crashes. One person changed what? What did he change? The security. You're uninvited. Your invitation to the Kingdom Hall has been revoked. They remember the Kingdom Halls were always invited to the public.
There's this person I work with, and his mom is a Jehovah's Witness, and she said that she thinks I'm you, and so hey. He's a bad dude, and he single-handedly changed. He got rid of the outdoor conventions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something the apostates did. That's something you did, and that was your idea to fly with a plane over San Diego. See, so the apostates do have effect on Watchtower. So we're driving the agenda in a lot of ways. And so when we said about this annual meeting, there's precedents. Like you said, Zeb crashing the kingdom halls, you flying the airplane over the convention center. Mm-hmm. It changes the way the Watchtower operates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what Six Screen does, and what everybody else is doing. Every apostate that is working on their craft is changing Watchtower. So Bridget calling on the phone, right?
Look what Dallas wrote. Look what Dallas wrote in the chat section. I think that's the spirit of tonight's show that I wanted to convey to Rick. That was what Dallas wrote right there is what I was trying to convey. That we are king. Mm-hmm. We are the masters of our future, not the Watchtower. They don't tell us what to do. Now think about it. If Jehovah's God, his spirit should have knocked your plane out of the air.
Correct.
But it didn't. Your plane took out a lot of witnesses out of the convention. Mm-hmm. It worked the opposite.
Correct. So that's the lesson that we learn in the annual meeting, guys, is that whether you're doing videos and you're writing notes, or you're in the chat, or you're in the comment section, or just in your local community, you're the one that's driving that change, and Watchtower is adjusting to your activism.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, because we are in a battle zone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So it's fluid. And you know what? Here's another thing about the apostates. Then, if what we say is true, then we have to put Watchtower on defense, jw.org on defense. That happened a couple of weeks ago. I sent you a picture of, they were going to have this, and I can't remember the subject, that they were going to have this, they were going to be doing a special preaching campaign on that men cannot govern themselves or the world.
Yeah.
And we did a video and we threw a fit. I don't know if it was on the Rick Fearon show. I think it was on the Rick Fearon show. And that was the subject. And we used the JW.org headline about it, that men are not even allowed to govern themselves, much less the world. And we said, look at these hypocrites. They even have a governing body.
Mhm.
They say that man cannot govern themselves, and then they give themselves a governing body. These are the most biggest hypocrites on the planet.
Mhm.
And then saying that man cannot own his own destiny.
Mhm.
You know, we know that there's a God. We know that there's a creator. But he doesn't want us to sit around and bury our talents on the ground. So we said that, and they stopped the campaign.
Mhm.
You go to JW.org the last month, you haven't seen nothing about that special campaign. So the apostates do drive the agenda. The apostates, when we go on offense, JW.org is forced to go on defense. They have to defend the organization. They can't help it. You can do anything to their children. You could do anything to their business and to their family, but don't touch the org. The org is their God. It's synonymous with the creator with them.
Correct. So, right there, Jesse, did you see that? Going back to
No,
the
no, no. I saw the plane with my own eyes. Elaine, brain drain.
And,
Is she okay? Brain
Yeah.
drain? Is
Yeah.
everything okay?
So she was at the convention, and other people were there, and they actually saw it with their own eyes. And that's the whole point, is that what you're saying. Watchtower reacts, but in that reaction, Jesse, people are already leaving. Okay, so let's go on to the next subject. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I sent you a video. I mean, I sent you some pictures.
Mhm.
Do you have that picture about there was something happening on that was big. That was big. We were expecting a big, and then, like in the words of Rick Ferron says, the big nothing burger. But it was a big day for news outside of the organization. In the organization, there wasn't a lot of news. But outside, we were speckled with all kinds of stuff. Like, did you have that picture of Hillary Clinton speaking?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that on the Gateway Pundit.
But I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, let me see.
She sounds just like a Jehovah's Witness here.
Oh no, but I'm not going to play. He doesn't want us to play.
No,
that.
no, not the video, just the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. This is real important because on the show, I noticed a lot of people, and Rick went off for about 10, 15 minutes explaining that a lot of people, let's not talk politics. This has nothing to do with politics. This is about life and death. This is about life in culling the population. And it has to do with religion. It has the right to freedom of assembly. It has the right to you go out there and yell at your neighbor for, going on your lawn. The First Amendment.
Yeah.
So what we had here today, a lot of people don't like to talk about politics, but this has nothing to do with politics. It's the other way around. Politics gets involved in our business. A lot of people don't see the world like, and I think that's what's unique about the governing body, the GG for GB. A lot of people see what happened in the Watchtower organization today. Hey, this was a nothing burger. And then you and I go, no, wait, stop. We see the other side of the coin. Probably that's why we collect so many silver coins, because we always like to see the other side of the coin. Mm-hmm. Everybody's looking at the same side of the coin. And they go, wait, flip it over. There's another side. It was a great day. It wasn't a nothing burger. Watchtower retreated. We went up to battle and we said, touche. And Watchtower ran. They retreated. Mm-hmm. The same thing. We're going about our business. And this woman pops into our lives. Mm-hmm. We're on the Rick Ferron Show. We're talking about whatever we want to talk about, religion, our First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. And lo and behold, this woman, the most cheated on woman in the history of mankind, look at what she says.
Yeah, she talked about Google, YouTube, Facebook, X, especially X and others, Instagram. They should have the government and Hillary and her friends should have more control over censoring them. And if they don't, they lose control of their power, their agenda.
And see, here's what the instinct of everybody is. They want to go to the Dodgers game. Everybody wants to see what the Padres or the Dodgers who won. I want to see that too. You want to go to the movies. You want to go to the Taylor Swift concert. Or maybe you want to go to that communist concert. What's it called? The Bruce Springsteen concert. And But then this woman gets involved in our lives. We want to live, we want to plant because it's Bermuda, it's winter grass season here in Arizona. We want to work, we want to be with our family. But she gets involved in trying to limit speech. And everybody goes, let's not talk about politics. No, 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 no. You politicians get out of our life. It's the other way around. Flip the coin, heads or tails. Flip the coin. You're wrong when you say, let's not talk about politics. Politics, don't talk about us, is what we're saying. Don't tread on us. Don't tread on us. It's you who are getting involved in our lives.
Yeah. Because what you're saying is we have already decided, and it was decided upon even before we were born, that we have the right to freedom of speech. Every individual can call himself a member of the press. If he has a pen and a paper, he's a member of the press and a camera. Everybody has a right to assemble. We've established all these fundamental rights. And then along come a group of people and say, no, 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 you don't have a right to religion. You don't have a right to assemble. And you're like, hey, you're Hillary Clinton is like a Jehovah's Witness. She's knocking on your door. I don't go to Hillary Clinton's house and knock on her door and try to censor her speech. But why does she come into my door like a Jehovah's Witness and say, hey, I got to have control of the agenda?
Yeah. Now, let's say you were married to this woman, okay?
God forbid, yeah.
And you can't even speak because she wants to limit. You're going to, hey, babe, can I have a sandwich? Shut up! You don't have the right to ask for a sandwich. You go look for another girl too. Just like the Jehovah's Witness. Hey, who were you talking about? Were you talking to other members of the congregation? No, so you leave the organization. These people actually change your way. Now, you had a theory about the dollar. We were talking about the dollar always chases what?
The money always goes where it's treated best.
Do you think Hillary Clinton is treating us the best?
No.
And why did this politician get involved in our lives? And then why do people tell us to shut up? Why don't they join us and tell Hillary Clinton to shut up? Why does it only work one way? Why does she have the right to censor us, but we have no right to say, hey, don't do that, please?
Yeah. And we don't try to censor her. Not one person that I know of that is of, Republican Party wants to censor. If anybody was trying to, if Donald Trump was trying to censor Hillary Clinton, we would give Donald Trump an earful. No, nobody's Hillary Clinton, Klaus Schwab, nobody.
Don't say, Gilbert, don't say earful.
Oh, I know. So what was the second one thing? Because I want to go through it all.
Okay. It says, let me read it. Army Green Beret forced out of military over Biden-Harris vaccine mandate, asked President Trump about DOD accountability. Because it goes back to our basic freedoms. This gentleman who was kicked out of the military because he wouldn't take the jabby yabby, they shut you up. They censor you. They're always nudging us. They're always against us. And so he's saying, hey, do you think that one day our brothers and sisters who are forcing us to do this, who are kicking us out of the military, who are kicking us out of our church, do you think ever there will be a day of accountability for them? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. So let's go to the next one. With misinformation swirling in Hurricane Helen's wake, officials urge residents to stop this conspiracy theory junk. Officials, government workers are urging non-government workers to stop the conspiracy theory junk.
So what you have, we really have a problem here, Houston. We have in our government where if you see destruction in your town, you can't even talk about it. Kind of like when we were Jehovah's Witnesses.
I was going to go
when
there.
we see something wrong, the elders will bring you into the back room. So it's misinformation. They use this word, misinformation. Just like the Watchtower. Yeah.
Let's look. This is because I was going to bring up this other picture, but I'm glad you mentioned that you went this angle, because I've been saying for a long time that the whole world is now experiencing what we went through as Jehovah's Witnesses. See, you're watching this and you're saying, yeah, Gilbert, I live this Jehovah's Witness lifestyle. Well, guess what? All of the Democrats, all of the Republicans, and everyone all over the earth now knows what it's like to be a Jehovah's Witness. Case in point, look at this headlines. with misinformation swirling in the congregation's wake, the governing body and the Bible and the elder body urge the publishers to stop this conspiracy theory junk about them destroying your family.
And you're going to see, because we took some pictures at jw.org, talk about that. They use the same words, the same language. They use the same language that the United Nations use. And nobody tells Watchtower, hey, why are you so political? They're the most political animals. Because, see, they don't want their world to be changed. They want to have their power. They want to have power and control. Like Hillary Clinton says, we're going to lose total control. It's all about controlling the masses, the people. And us people, we're just saying, hey, don't tread on us. Don't tread on us. Just leave us alone.
See? And then check this out. It is the government officials right there, the government officials, the governing body, the elders are telling the publishers to stop this conspiracy theory stuff. So this thing that you believe in the Bible, that you've been doing on Bible research, that's conspiracy stuff. Only what's Watchtower approved. You see, it's the same thing. Watchtower is telling you and the elders, if it's not in the publications, in the recent publications, then no. Your theories, your thoughts are wrong. Only stick to what the approved information coming out of Watchtower. That's the same thing that's happening right there. So hey, America is now seeing what it's like to be a Jehovah's Witness. Why did you put that right there? Local officials are urging residents to verify the information they're sharing or repeating, saying a deluge of false rumors is hindering recovery efforts. Wow.
Okay, so look. Yes, let's say that's the narrative. It says the hurricane tore a destructive path through the southeastern United States. This is from CNN. So our Democrat brothers, they can't accuse us of disinformation because we're quoting the Democrat Bible, CNN. Everybody knows CNN is the Democrat Bible. Okay, it's the Pope of the CNN. Okay, so we're quoting your Bible. It says the hurricane tore a destructive path through the southeastern United States a week ago, killing more than 200 people. So that's the narrative. So let's say that somebody is saying, you know what, I found 200 people in this one county. That's misinformation. You don't want to talk about this. This is the narrative. It was only 200 people. What if you want to fly a drone? No, we're going to take down the drone. What if you want to fly your airplane or your helicopter and help people? No. They want to control speech. They want to control movement. Now, it's not legal for them to do that. It's called the color of law. So what they do is they use this word misinformation. They accuse anybody who says something different than this of misinformation. And that's why the First Amendment is a roadblock to these people. Because you and I have freedom of speech. They don't want us to be able to speak. They don't want us to come on the Rick Fearon show. They don't want 587. They don't want Debbie Moore to talk. They don't want Dallas to talk. They don't want Jimmy Bell to talk. They don't want Ruby Quinn to talk. Who else is on it? Dallas, Jocelyn, Debbie Moore, 587 Maverick, Ruby Quinn, James Spitfire, John Marciano. We're not allowed to talk. Only Hillary Clinton and CNN can talk.
And when they talk, it's like it says in the second paragraph at the end. They invent stories and rumors that provide explanations to questions that might not immediately be answerable, experts say. So they're saying that because you guys are jumping to judgment and you guys are over here sharing information, you're the ones spreading rumors. They're blaming you. That's what it says right there. Crazy. And that's where jw.org uses the same language. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
And who's security.org?
It's another. I was trying to get different organizations, and this one is from the Washington University in St. Louis. Protect yourself from information, and the next one, and this one is from the United Nations. Rise above countering misinformation. See, this is the thing. All these people are the same. They're all image of the beast. They're all the image of the beast. And since they're all the same, they use the same language. And they use the word misinformation and disinformation. You notice that us Americans and us Christians and us lovers of freedom We never use the word misinformation or disinformation. We don't use that language. That's not a language that Christians or Americans use. That's something the CIA uses, or the FBI, or the New York Times, or Jehovah uses. We use the word truth or lie.
Mhm.
Yes or no. Jesus said, let your yes be yes, no be no. But Hillary Clinton would have us believe that Jesus said, let your misinformation not be disinformation. Jesus didn't say that. He said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And John Kerry would have us believe that the Constitution says freedom of speech, but not misinformation and disinformation. No, it's absolute. It's absolute. Listen, saying that freedom of speech is not absolute is suicide. You're aborting yourself.
Yes.
Even the person going to the gallows, what do they tell the person going to the gallows? Any last what?
Any last words?
Even a dying man has last words. But they would have us believe that we don't have the right words.
And even in the Watchtower Bible, Satan is allowed to address the whole host of angels. Every angel was before God in Job chapter 2. And who gets center stage and is allowed freedom of speech? Satan, the devil. So don't tell me Jehovah doesn't believe in freedom of speech, guys. So now here, I want to go into this article that came out and show you how the Jehovah's Witnesses, how they've taken over Washington, D.C., because it looks like our government in all 50 states have been infected by the Jehovah's Witnesses. And not poking fun at Pete Buttigieg, but check this out. He orders a suspension of private drone flights in Northern Carolina's hurricane and in this flood zone. And then he immediately issues clarification after backlash. But here's the point. If think about this. You're a Jehovah's Witness in a flood zone and you're okay. But Jimmy Bell called in the news show today. So imagine Jimmy Bell is a Jehovah's Witness, and he decides to take it upon himself to get on X, to get on Facebook, because he's not censored on Facebook because he's a Jehovah's Witness. So he tones it down, and he starts collecting money and starts distributing money and food. What do you think will happen to Jimmy Bell?
He's going to get shut down.
He's going to get shut down. So this is what you just saw there. What this guy is doing is no different than what the Jehovah's Witness governing body would do if private citizens, private Jehovah's Witnesses, take it upon themselves in an emergency to give relief to their neighbor.
Now, Gilbert, there's another point.
Mhm.
Look at the end of the story is the other point.
Immediately issues clarification after backlash.
Yes, after backlash. If you and I stay quiet and say nothing about it, if none of us on the chat say anything about it, we can fight and disagree. Like an atheist brother, he could come over here and talk to us. And Jesse, this is why you're wrong, Gilbert. And we'll entertain that idea. And we have a free flow of ideas. Or we talk to a brother who believes in the flat earth and we have a discussion. I go, we believe in the round earth.
Mhm.
We have a discussion. But these guys, they come up with some crazy ideas that we don't have the right to disseminate information, our God-given right enumerated in the Constitution. And it's not until we push back then they go, whoa, 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 okay. We must push back at all times. The communists they're like cockroaches. They never stop. We could have a nuclear war. The cockroaches will still come out.
Mhm.
That's why in that movie with Al Pacino, what was that? Scarface.
Mhm.
He goes, I killed a communist cucaracha. Because that's what they looked at it. When you live with them, they're like cucarachas. They're everywhere. You stop them, you win an argument, they come back, they never stop. Yeah.
Cucarachas. All right. Hey,
Did you have the next picture?
I might. I'm gonna take a little break here
Okay.
to catch my breath. Oh, there was 60 people on watching, and now there's 50. Okay, 60. That virgin came back. But see, it was 59. I remember when the virgins leave. This one came back. So we're back at 60. I was going to talk about, then 2 people left.
But speaking of that, let me throw you a curve. Let's get away from the pictures. But Dan was on.
Mhm.
Dan was on earlier, and he said something real interesting. I wasn't aware of this. It's been in the back of my mind. But Dan says he's seen a phenomenon of a lot of the PMOs leave. Did you hear him talk about that?
So, yeah,
and lately, they've been going back to Watchtower, like flip-flopping. That's a phenomenon happening in the organization. There's a lot of PMOs that leave Watchtower for whatever reason, but then they're always going back to Watchtower. And I've been seeing that too. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is why I'm GG for GB. You have to remember this. 2 people, there's 2 types of people. It really is. Remember, Jesus says there's 2 rows. He's always talking about 2 types, truth and lies. My dad would always say, there's 2 types of people in the world, grateful and ungrateful. There's 2 types of people that leave Watchtower. One that leaves for the spirit and the other that leaves for the flesh. Those that leave for the spirit of truth. Jesus is the spirit. Now, Jesus talks about the Holy Spirit, but if you do research, you'll find out that Jesus talks about the spirit of truth. A lot of you have left Watchtower because you love truth. You left for the spirit of truth. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, it doesn't matter. You'll get there. You'll eventually get there because you're on the road of truth. Now, you may be smoking weed. You may be getting drunk. You may be masturbating like a good little Jehovah's Witness, like they were talking about on the Rick Farron show. You left for the truth, and you'll eventually get to your destination. But those other Jehovah's Witnesses left for the flesh. They were disfellowshipped, or they didn't want to live a double life. They were watching too much pornography, so then they left. Whatever the case may be. And they always come back to their crap, like a dog when he goes and eats his crap, or he eats his throw up, right? They always come back for the flesh. And that's why you see a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses return. And you don't think Watchtower knows that, Jesse? You don't think Watchtower knows that a lot of people that we disfellowshipped are going to come back? Of course, because you're a fleshly organization. The true leadership of the Watchtower that are dirty, man, filthy, dirty, demonic, understand that. Because when you understand this fundamental fact that I'm preaching to you, but you choose to use it in the dark side, then you really do work at Warwick. That is a very dark person, that he understands this truth, and he'll use this truth to keep bringing these people back and abusing them. So that's just Ruby says, of course, but that's why I'm GG for GB. So I hope that answered your question, Jesse. I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to you said, do we have anything else? Well, yeah, you have this, right? You sent me a picture of a guy sticking his head in the sand.
Yeah, this is real important because this is where a lot of us are at. All of us who say, hey, don't talk about politics. So the majority of us don't want to talk about politics. Look, on the Rick Farron show, there was like 260 views. Yeah. So about 200 of us left, 200. Because they know that you and I are on, and we're going to talk about political subjects. We're going to talk about religious subjects. We're going to talk about all the things that Mike and Kim and Lloyd don't want to talk about. So we're Mexicans. We're doing the jobs these white boys don't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing the job. So what happens is, go back to that picture, and we're going to go to this page. But a lot of people really want to live with their head in the sand. They want to think that the illegal aliens coming over the border is not going to go into their gated community. They think that you bring in over 12 million to 20 million people from other nationalities, that's not going to limit the amount of African Americans in the United States, that's not going to hurt our Native American population. They really think that. They want to live it because they want to talk about baseball. They want to talk about Taylor Swift. They want to talk about the Bruce Springsteen concert. They want to talk about the marijuana joint. They want to talk about the party that they went on Friday. Because we really don't think that if we start a war with Iran, nothing is going to happen to the United States. If we bomb Ukraine, if Ukraine bombs Russia, nothing's going to happen to us. We really do believe we got a gated community of the brain, and that sand is the gate. And this one article explains it. Want to read a little bit?
Says, I had a conversation with a friend recently, a friend who has been running art workshops that aim to understand who gets left out of art galleries and why. Ironically, the piece of art that my friend has been told will be left out of the gallery, made it to the workshop, is a piece of a non-binary student, by a non-binary student, who challenges gender conformity in their art. And why? Because it's too political.
There's a little understanding from the decision maker, it seems, that the choice not to include the piece is just as political as it would be to hang it alongside the other creations. But choices to display or not to display are choices rooted in politics. And we hear it so much, don't we? Don't make this political. Don't want to get it political. It's not right to politicize their death. This last one, most often said after a person from a marginalized group is killed in an often violent way, but these statements are impossible ones because everything is political. Do you have the next page?
Let me see. Here's a statement. Here's a statement when people say that that's too political, and we hear this a lot with the Jehovah's Witnesses, or that they don't want to get political, or they actually mean it's not that they don't want to talk about politics that threatens a system they exist comfortably in, because it is not all practical choices that
Political choices.
Political choices bother them. We all make political choices every single day.
How did you consume news this morning? Did you watch it on TV? Did you select GB News? Did you select Sky News? Did you select BBC News? Did you read a physical paper? Was it The Guardian? Was it the Daily Mail? Was it the Independent? Did you open social media to get your news? Did you go to a verified news outlet, or did you go to Twitter trending topics? All these are political choices because all these outlets have their own political agenda. And if you rejected mainstream media as a source for your news, that's even bigger political choice. Did it feel political when you made it? Probably not. Politics is all around us. It's a tool we use to understand and address problems. It's how we measure right and wrong and what we deem the mood or the moral and immoral. How we think about issues and challenges facing us individually and collectively. You cannot argue that politics is separate to humanity and human experience when it is a system made by humanity for humanity.
And here's the
And
greatest.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because keep doing it, because I'm gonna.
Okay, and I'm gonna read it slow. It says, and here's the greatest irony: the people who don't realize how political everything is, those are the most political amongst us. Mm-hmm. Because to be blessed with the privilege to move through the world without having to think about politics means that it's working perfectly for you. The world is working perfectly for you. Never had a question why your school textbooks were published over 40 years ago and are falling apart. Never had to worry about your home being lost because your parents owned it outright. Always had the funds to get it when you wanted. Never had to question if people were staring at you when you walked into a room because you like your outfit or because they don't like the color of your shirt, of your skin. Never had to plan or escape route in a situation when you're the only one and felt sick with anxiety. Only woman, only person or of color, only a gay person. Never voted because it doesn't make a difference to you who wins. That's politics working perfectly for you. And you never think to suggest that any of these things are too political, even though they are very much are political in existence. But if a painter who grew up poor in a school with limited resources and a serious lack of opportunities creates something artistic driven by anger or feeling left behind by society, something that highlights housing inequality, for example, suddenly, yes, they are too political. So I wanted to sum it up by saying, since we were babies, Gilbert, since you and I were babies in our family, we heard it from some of our members of our family. They would say, don't talk religion or politics. We were instructed. So we could talk about superficial things of the day. We could talk about the baseball game. We could talk jokes, but nothing of consequence, because their world view would be shattered. But these people are the most political. They're the ones who stymie speech. They stymie growth of the human experience because they're comfortable in their bubble. They're okay. They're okay. They're retired, so nothing is going to affect them. They got their pension. And you tell, hey, you got your pension, but it's being decimated by inflation. No, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Everything is good. And then they'll complain, hey, I had to spend double on my grocery bills, my electric bills. They never stop to think it's because you retired in 1990. And because you don't want to change it. You just got it on cruise control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of retired in 1990, Jesse, why don't you go ahead and take a break? And I'm gonna let Grace come in. And
okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Let me find the button.
Hey, Grace, how you doing?
Gilbert, where's the button?
Hello, I'm okay. How are you?
Good. What do you have in mind?
Oh, I have my bad microphone. I have to change now. I took the wrong one.
Did you want to get on the show? Did you want to say something?
This one is better, I think. What I have in mind is, well, it's political also. Men having equal salary to women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's called feminism.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So when a person wants to hijack this word feminism and talk about unhealthy feminism, they have a hidden agenda. We need to have one word that it's not being tramped on and like it's crushed under your feet. You need to have a word because words matter.
That's
it's the
what
same
I was
thing
thinking.
like you say. Well, it's the same thing if you say like to a person, there are important words like rape, for instance. You can't just say, well, I was raped over the phone, or I mean, that's not the rape. They need to have a word. What is rape? What is feminism? Otherwise, you're pushing women down. It's not okay. It's absolutely not okay. And what I was thinking now, I forgot now.
You're absolutely right. And this is the key. And Watchtower knows this because they have this in their playbook. They play with words. Like their Bible, it's called the New World Translation. We now see what they're talking about, the New World, So you're right. Words matter. And we all make mistakes. But when somebody corrects us and says, you know what, you shouldn't have used that word, we should take that as a compliment and think about it. And says, well, maybe they have a point because you're right. What does Satan say with Eve? If you eat, you will not die. Well, he made her think that maybe she won't die today. He wasn't, but he's playing on the words. And so you're absolutely right. This is how devious men make us slaves. They play with the language, and if we are wise to it, we can avoid falling into their trap. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you wanted
to? It's also like you hide behind someone else. I mean, I stand on my own. I don't have to like say, well, he say this or he say that and hide behind someone else. If I say something, it's me who says it. I don't have to blame anybody else on this channel, like, well, he said it, so I'm just agreeing with him. No, I'm
Mhm.
standing on my own 2 feet. I'm saying this. It's me who says it. But I also feel like sometimes when it comes, about the women's salary compared to men, that's a political thing also. Whether you realize it or not, that's politics.
Okay.
So,
Now, I like the phrase when it comes to politics. You have to remember that the politics of the day killed Jesus Christ. So not even Jesus
yes.
himself, yeah, not even Jesus himself could avoid politics. So all we're saying is that if you want to pretend that you and put your head in the sand and say, "Well, I don't want to talk about politics. Well, I don't want to get him," it's going to catch up to you. It caught up to Jesus. That's what we're saying. So it's better to be informed. It doesn't mean you have to engage in every conversation. It doesn't mean you have to fight every fight, but you have to be aware of your surroundings because look what happened to Jesus Christ. Even he got caught up in the political movement of the day and they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
usually
I
happens.
mean, it's 5 o'clock. It's like it's 5 o'clock in the morning in Sweden now. But
Okay.
I mean, we have problems here in Sweden with the Muslims, and they come in here and do things to us. So it's not only United States who have problems with immigrants. We have great problems here in Sweden. They
Mhm.
started to throw stones on our police cars and set them on fire, and it's like we used to be a peaceful country. There's no peace here anymore.
Correct. And it's getting to the point where like we're showing in the articles that if you start speaking out in some of these countries, they arrest you for speaking out. And what are you talking about? I don't want to get raped. I don't want this to happen to me, that to happen to me. Or when Tommy Robinson was showing the trafficking of children, and now they want to arrest Tommy Robinson in England. So this is what happens when we don't push back. This is what happened with Watchtower. There has to be more pushback because if we don't push back, these people are always going to, like Jesse said earlier, they're like cockroaches. They don't stop pushing. They don't stop trying to get in.
Hmm.
Mhm. But hey, Grace, is there anything else? Because I'm going to bring it back to
I was,
Jesse.
yes, there are lots of, I was thinking about Rick talked about something on the news, but I think it was about money. But I don't remember what I was going to say now. But anyway, I was
Okay.
at the circuit assembly today in Sweden. It was a full day assembly, and they were talking like, they are sneaky because they say it like a question. Is all Jehovah's Witness going to suffer from persecution? Are we all going to prison? But
Mhm,
it's all fear mongering. And then they also said that the governing body is appointed by Jesus, and
mhm,
you should obey and that creates peace in the congregation,
mhm,
and trust the guidance, and then you show you trust Jehovah, and the elders are a gift from Jehovah. What would happen if the elders just vanish, or if jw.org doesn't exist anymore? What will happen to you then? So they are actually scaring people into obedience, and
mhm,
well, that tied into something that Rick was talking about, the governing body annual meeting. So,
mhm.
well, I don't know what I was going to say now.
But I'm glad you
Well,
went
I
to the.
guess this was what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you went to the. See, we need more people doing that. Going to the conventions. I've done it myself. Yeah, whatever it is you do, it doesn't matter as long as you do something and report on it. So, hey, Grace, I'm gonna bring my brother Jesse back on. We're gonna go over a few more topics. Unless you wanted to say.
No,
Okay, guys,
not for now. I will be quiet. Ciao.
that was Grace from Sweden. And hey, Jesse, we're gonna bring you back in because I wanted to go over. I want to thank Grace for coming in. Anybody else wants to come in? Shirley, you're more than welcome to come in. This is Rick's show, so he really loves it when you or other people come in. If Pixie's out there, we want Pixie to come in. But Jesse, I wanted to go over this, and it's yours. You sent me this. The First Amendment is out of control, and Grace alluded to that. Over there in Sweden, Jesse, they're peaceful people. They love the First Amendment over there. I'm going to give it to the Swedes. Everybody knows the Swedes are peaceful people. They're not hurting anybody, but their country is getting hijacked. And now, Jesse, countries like that, in the Scandinavian countries, the First Amendment is out of control. People start talking, they can go to jail. Look at Tommy Robinson in England. They want to put him in jail just because he's showing you that there's a pedophile ring going on in your country.
Gilbert, go back.
Okay, the First Amendment is out of control. Go ahead.
Yeah, but look, because you're very observant. You notice the black shorts and the pink shirt, or the black shirt, and you go, look, there's something you're missing here. That's why you're the GG for GB, but that's not what it is. This is an American newspaper. This is from the New York Times. What I'm saying here in this picture, this should scare everybody. Everybody's hair should be standing up. This is a disgrace of biblical proportions. Tone it down a little.
No. I'm reading the notes. Go ahead.
Okay. Because you said sometimes you scare some of your viewers when I speak.
No, that's a good point. The very top is the New York Times, an American publishing company is telling us that the First Amendment is out of control. That's scary.
That has no right to be in an American newspaper, especially a newspaper of record like the New York Times. That's a disgrace. Americans don't speak this way. Americans gave their life for the First Amendment. Why do we ask our children to go and defend the United States? And then the New York Times does this?
Jesse, hold on. Before you go on, the people in the New York Times, there's so many people that work in the New York Times whose parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents have died and fought in wars, and they were staunch believers in the First Amendment. And they would have given up their lives for the right of freedom of speech, because they know that the opposite would be 1,000 years of tyranny, of slavery.
Yeah.
So for the children now own the New York Times, all of the workers there, to come out with a title saying the First Amendment is out of control. It's like Watchtower coming out with an article saying what? Jesus needs to know his place in heaven.
But it's scarier. You get 30 million people come across the southern border and northern border. You ask them what the First Amendment is, they're going to think it's a bar. Or they're going to say, if you got a New World Translation zigzags, I'll smoke it. They don't know what the First Amendment is. This is sacred to an American. Now, you got Grace from Sweden, and I don't expect nobody from Europe or Canada to understand this. But to the American, and that's why I told you we're the best. And you know what? There's nothing wrong in being second place. There's nothing wrong with that.
Go ahead,
But anyways, what I'm saying is this is something sacred, the First Amendment. We're talking about putting duct tape around your mouth, that you're not allowed to speak. Watch, you got the next picture?
Yeah, and I'm going to show the next picture. So what Jesse's saying is, if you're not an American, the American spirit, the American is willing to die over this subject. He's willing to give his life and fight for this subject. So this is holy. This is holy of holies. John Kerry accurately explains the First Amendment. MAGA world loses its mind. So they're saying that all of the people that, all of the Trump supporters, Republicans, we lost our mind because John Kerry is talking uh, about limiting the First Amendment.
Yeah. We've pointed out a few times how ridiculous both Democrats and Republicans are. Oh, they're both. See, there's a perfect triangulation. Those people are weird, but we got it right. Perfect triangulation. Okay, it says, we pointed out a few more times how ridiculous the Democrats and Republicans have been of late when it comes to the First Amendment. Unfortunately, both have been making arguments for trimming back our First Amendment rights. Donald Trump has called for jailing those who criticize the Supreme Court, something I should note he regularly does himself. And that's good that you call out Donald Trump if he's wrong and if he's wrong. But I'm sure he can explain Donald Trump is not for limiting the First Amendment rights. Because of all the people Donald Trump exercises, he's got diarrhea of the mouth. And that's why MAGA loves him. At least he says what he's going to say. And a lot of times he's wrong. But at least he's exercising his First Amendment right, where everybody else shuts up.
But Jesse, go back to this point right here. It says here, oops. Oh man, I'm playing with I'm learning how to play with I'm sharing the screen. So I'm trying to make it bigger for everybody. That's what I'm playing at. So here it says, we pointed out a few times how ridiculous both Democrats and Republicans have been when it comes to the First Amendment. So explain to people how this, Jesus says, pay attention how you listen. Here, what are they trying? Why do they put that sentence there? The Democrats are foolish, ridiculous. The Republicans are ridiculous.
It's called triangulation. It's called Dick Morris. It's called Bill Clinton. You attack both opponents and make yourself above them. Go ahead and let them fight and kill each other, and then you're there to pick up the pieces. You're the survivor. Classic Dick, triangulation. That's how Dick Morris got Bill Clinton elected in 1992, 1996. Triangulation. Look it up. So that's what this tech world is doing. But the Republicans say, no. We're not even going to engage because turn the page.
Go to the next page.
Checkmate. This ain't no Republican. This ain't Donald Trump. This ain't you and I. You know, everybody says, well, the Republicans or the Democrats are all the same. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You won't find no Republican saying this. Go ahead, do your Google search. Do all you want. We are not the same. They hate the First Amendment. They believe the only amendments they have is abortion and marijuana. That's the only freedom. There has to be more to life than just that.
There has to be more. And let me go over this because I said it in the video we did before. When we talk about the roadblock, because they're talking about how the First Amendment is a roadblock to their democracy, when Watchtower says we are no part of the world, it doesn't mean we, it's them. If we do anything illegal, we go to jail. Watchtower can do all of the illegal activities and present themselves before the Australian Royal Commission and not go to jail. Why? Because they are no part of the world. So when they say we are no part of the world, we does not include you and I. When John Kerry's talking about our democracy, he's not talking about you and me and our representative republic, America. See, he's choosing the words wisely. He's making you think he's talking about us, but he's not. Now, here's the thing. He says that the First Amendment is a roadblock. So, isn't it interesting that whether you're a Republican who supports or doesn't support Donald Trump, doesn't matter. Do you think that the First Amendment is a roadblock to these people? No. The First Amendment is a roadblock to you, but what does it say of a man who says the First Amendment, the God-given right to free speech, is a roadblock to where I want to go and to where I want to take you? Think about that. John Kerry is saying, I want to take you down this road, but there's a roadblock. It's called the free speech. But you're not like that. You want to take somebody down a road and says, Jesse, I want to speak my mind before I go on this road. You're like, go ahead. Jesus let everybody speak their mind. He was going down a road. He didn't shut people up. The only person he shut up was Peter when he says, "Get behind me, Satan." But he even let Satan talk to him in Matthew 4. Jesus didn't censor Satan, and he let the account be written in stone, in paper. So what I'm trying to say is that what does it say of an individual that believes that the God-given right of free speech is a roadblock to the road and destination that they want to take you? Go ahead.
It tells me a lot. I'll try to put it real nicely, but it tells me he's not an American in spirit. And I've always said this: America is a spirit. You know, there's a person, place, or thing, but America is a spirit. And John Kerry doesn't represent, in a republic, the American spirit. And that's pretty harsh because he ran for president. He is a senator. He was a senator and he worked in the executive administration of the executive. But he goes overseas where are people who hate America. They hate the way America was founded.
Mhm.
And he befriends these people who are America haters. They hate our way of life.
Mhm.
And that's the worst. Can you imagine if you hate your wife and you go to a dinner party with your in-laws,
Mhm.
and all she does is bash you? Gilbert's a womanizer. Gilbert's a beater. He beats me. He degrades me. That's what he's doing about America. He goes over there to the World Economic Forum and he dishes out how much he hates, how bad our Constitution is. It shows you he holds his country in contempt. It's a disgrace, a disgrace. Now, here's the thing. We have illegal aliens, Gilbert, who are breaking the law. You don't see illegal aliens doing that. You see Mexicans, Cubans. We're not doing that.
Mhm.
It's one of their own.
I have a good friend of mine. He's an illegal alien, and everywhere he goes, man, like sometimes, 'cause he does handyman work, and some of the white people down in Alabama say, uh, uh, he goes, "Do you have papers?" And he tells them, and he goes, "I love Trump." So here's an illegal alien telling everybody how that he loves Donald Trump, just loves him. He's been in the United States for over 20 years, owns homes, properties, and everything.
But there's an irony. I was reading there was an irony because the illegal aliens that work real hard, they love America, so they're not going to vote. But the illegal aliens that hate America and want a free job and don't want to work, they'll vote.
Yes.
So there's an irony of ironies.
And because of that video that I showed you with Vivek. So going back to, again, if you're married. So in this illustration that Jesse gave, the United States is the wife, right? She's beautiful. The United States, with all of its flaws, is still beautiful. And it has a lot of nice curves, going down over there where Ruby lives, the Florida, coming down to Texas. And, it curves all the way around. Beautiful curves. She's hot on the bottom and cold on the top. She's awesome. But she has her flaws. And now her husband, John Kerry, how does he talk? How does he treat his wife in public? Jesse, that was a very good illustration. Expound on that.
Well, let's say you're a Jehovah's Witness and you are a Jehovah's Witness elder and you get invited to speak somewhere and they go, you know what? Can you tell us candidly off record what you think about the Jehovah's Witness governing body? Well, I think the governing body is not biblical. And you give your true opinion, what you think. But you're serving as a Jehovah's Witness. And somehow it gets recorded and it gets taken to your elder body. You're going to be disfellowshipped. If you're a communist and you record, what do you think about the Chinese Communist Party? Well, I think Xi Jinping, off the record, nobody's going to find out. And they record it. Well, I think he's a tyrant. He does this and he murders these people. When you go back to the Politburo, you're going to be killed. Or let's say you're a mafia. Hey, off the record, man, what do you think about the Godfather? What do you think about him? Man, he's an assassin. He's orders hit. He's merciless. This is off the record, right? Yeah, nobody will hear this. And somebody hears it. You're going to be held. But this man is not held to account. He badmouths his country. Therein lies the irony of freedom of speech. Therein lies the irony of ironies. He, like no other organization, is allowed to speak freely without any retribution coming to him because he has freedom of speech. In any other time, in any other place, in any other circumstance, you speak that way and there will be an accounting. But because the United States is so benevolent, and because our freedom of speech is so absolute, you can go to our foreign enemies and badmouth your own country, your own home. You can shit on your own house and not be held to account. In any other organization, this man would be laughed at. He would be booed out. He would not be allowed to touch the keys of that organization.
Did you guys understand that? I mean, I thought that was very powerful on John Kerry, and I think we all are guilty of sometimes saying something bad about our country, right, or our state, whatever, and we get upset because of things, and like Jesse says, our country is very magnanimous, and we can all agree on that. The American people are very forgiving people. We are very forgiving, but still, there's still a thing called shame. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. Like, and then also, like you said earlier, tone it down, man. But remember, like what Jesus says, and even King Adat's brought it up again during World News. It's not what you eat, Jesse, that defiles you. It's what comes out of your mouth that Jesus says. What John Kerry said there was just showing how dirty and rotten he is from the inner core. To talk that way about a God-given right, that he is exercising his First Amendment right to free speech, his right to his opinions. But he's saying that his rights should overshadow yours. Wow. That is just, wow.
And you know what? And I said a little while ago that Donald Trump has diarrhea of the mouth. So he goes and speaks for hours and hours and hours. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to say stupid things. And he's held account by the Democrats. But you don't see no Republican saying, you know what, John Kerry, you disgraced our country. No, he's got freedom of speech. He could do that. We understand how the game is played. You could even badmouth your own country. It's called freedom of speech. Democrats ought to try that once in a while.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Yeah. And maybe the Jehovah's Witnesses should try that. So what's the deal with hope and change? Will Armageddon begin in Israel? It's been there for like a week, I think, on jw.org.
Yeah. Watch. They go together in this block. Okay, so go back to the original. This is the first picture of jw.org. If you go to the middle one, it talks about hope. The second article right there.
That girl.
That girl. And so you click on it and it takes you to this page. It's called To Protect Your Hope. I just found it interesting because where did this word hope come from? Is it part of Jesus's, is it part of the good news? So we like to use the word talking points. And watch, change the page.
Hope is part of the Jehovah's Witness Bible, but I'll tell you about that later. Go ahead.
Okay. But it's also part of the United Nations talking points. It says here, the United Nations has used the word hope in a number of ways. Tapestry. The United Nations tapestry called Hope, created by Latvian artist Eddie Polivigneri. The tapestry depicts the Freedom Monument, a symbol of Latvian independence. Secretary General's message in his New Year for 2024, United Nations Secretary General Antonio called for a year of building trust and hope.
This is the one. Oh, oops, hold on. The second one. The Secretary General's message of 2024, as we speak, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a year of building trust and hope. And who's the one that is on board with that?
With the talking points, the Watchtower.
So Watchtower can tell the United Nations, hey, here's proof that we're kissing your rear end. Right there.
Yeah. Is there a fourth picture on that? Was there a fourth or was it just three?
The UNSDG.UN.org, marking United Nations Day with a message of hope.
So the NGOs, they have to run with that message of hope. Watchtower does too.
So
Now that could be a stretch, and a Jehovah's Witness could come on the show and go, "Hey, that has nothing to do with that's a stretch." Yeah, granted, but you could go on so many messages. All the talking points of the United Nations, sustainable development, growth, economic impact. Those were all, and we've done videos on them. Jehovah's Witnesses. There's so many talking points that the United Nations does, and the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, when Brother Franz was around, or Milton Henshaw, you wouldn't see no similarities between the United Nations and the Jehovah's Witness organization. Every day they get closer to mimicking each other, to the point where in the future there's going to be one worldwide religion. They're all going to morph into one worldwide religion. Now, do you remember in the old days when we were kids in the JW.org as Jehovah's Witness, we said that when the worlds got fed up, they were going to persecute and kill all the religions? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when we were kids, we watched Red Dawn with Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze, and we watched that movie Red Dawn. We thought that the communists were going to invade America. We didn't know that we were going to vote for them as our leaders. The truth is stranger than fiction. The same thing. Watchtower said that they were going to kill off religion. We thought they were going to take them to the gallows. No, what it is, they're going to kill off God. They're going to come up with their own New World Bibles. They're going to come up with their New World philosophies, their New World dogmas and traditions. That's how they're going to kill off religions. They're going to make them all be 501c3s. They're all going to have to toe the United Nations line. Mm-hmm. But we thought it was going to be like in concentration camps. It's not. That's not how it works. They're going to kill the dogma of the Christian religions and morph them all into one goody two-shoe religion. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and sustainability and love of each other. It's going to be one big-ass kumbaya religion.
One kumbaya religion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Going back to hope, but I double-checked it while you were talking, and all of the translations use it. It's Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for, the evident demonstration of realities, though not seen. So I was just using that thing on hope. You know, Jesse, we don't do a lot of we just go by instinct and everything. But here at the GG for GB headquarters, we have a really good research staff. Now, we know you and I don't do research, but I want to bring in our research committee and Ruby.
The research staff.
Yeah. You know, her and Vern, boy, if I get tired just watching their research, I'm like, oh, that's hard work. The stuff that you guys come up with, I'm like, honest, Ruby, I have a humdrum life. I just watch like Caitlin Clark play basketball, Frank Sinatra sing on YouTube, and I'm looking at you guys. You guys go deep, man. I'm like, how do you guys find this stuff? Kudos to you. Kudos.
Yeah. We like to see how the other half lives. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so old that this is the way I thought life was, okay? Let me just play it for you. And it's from the 50s. And there was so many songs like this in the 50s. And it was called about searching. You gotta keep searching, and follow the sun. And there was the Searchers. And so searching was and even in the black music. Gonna keep searching night and day. That's the Coasters. Mm-hmm. So I've been searching night and day. And so along comes this new generation of people, you know, these new kids, 20 to 30-year-olds, and they talk about this new word called research. Mm-hmm. But we were always searching. You know, we were like Christopher Columbus. We were like the explorers. You know, we were searching. And now they want us to do it all over again, but we're tired. We don't want to research. We've already been searching all our lives. Yeah.
And Ruby, Jesse and I, the reason we don't like research is because we like our food hot. We don't like to reheat our food.
Reheat, yeah.
We don't like RE. Read.
Yeah, we don't like, like regurgitate. We don't like that. We like to gurgitate.
All right, I'm sorry. Let her in.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, the comment that I wanted to make to you guys was when you were talking about the First Amendment, and Jesse said that we will be voting in those commies without even knowing it. That's exactly right. That's what I was gonna say, is that we are thinking, we are under the impression that we are voting for freedom, we're patriots. They want to puff you up with that pride. Meanwhile, you got somebody like Kamala, and people are going to be thinking that they are voting for something good because of all the good things that she says, and it sounds so nice and easy. But nothing is ever nice and easy in this life. And when you do that research, you realize, and I understand why people say this, oh, even if you don't like him, you gotta vote for him, because that's the ugly truth. Even though I don't like him, I know that he has a better chance of winning than a third party candidate. But that's the system that they want us to play, and that's what I talk about on my show with Tony, because she says it as well. Why don't we have better options? We should be demanding more from these people, just as we should be demanding more from Watchtower.
And you know what? It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I want to give it out a shout out for all of you people that did not support Donald Trump, and you said, I'm going to put my hat in with Kennedy. You guys did something good, because what happened is you guys now have made Donald Trump and Kennedy enumerate. I think he enumerated 4 things, and Donald Trump says, "Okay, I'm going to give you the keys, and you're going to knock out these 4 things for me and us." And kudos. I mean, that's the kind of, like, what you're talking about. That sometimes we need to, like, sometimes. Well, kudos to those of you that made it happen, because if you wouldn't have supported him, I don't think Kennedy and Trump would have partnered.
Hey, and I want to disagree most respectfully with the young lady here present. But I want to do it through the prism of love.
That's
And
good.
this is what I mean. Everything I do is do through the prism of love. In this aspect,
Go ahead.
you said, why don't we have, Tony goes, why don't we have better choices? What I'm telling you today, you and I have the greatest choice ever in the history of the American experience, the American pageant, the American experience. We have the greatest choices. The choices couldn't be clear. Night and day, light and dark, good and evil. You have in this man, Donald Trump, and I know Donald Trump has diarrhea of the mouth, and I'm not a big, I don't have Donald Trump, I don't wear MAGA, I'm not that, but there is a spiritual element to Donald Trump. He is the least of us, where everybody in the United States says, I don't like Donald Trump because of this. I don't like Donald Trump because he has diarrhea of the mouth. He says things, he mean tweets. Here we have the most immoral. He sleeps with prostitutes. He did this with Stormy Daniel. He does this. He fires people. He says mean things. He hates everybody. He is morally, by the collective United States of America citizenry, the most immoral, the most godless person. We have judged him to be the least of us. Nobody wants their children to be like Donald Trump. He's a pig. He's misogynistic. And yet, when it comes to defending freedom, when it comes to protecting the essence of what is America, he is the greatest among us. That is the irony of ironies that I talk about. The irony of ironies, that the man who is the least is the greatest. And the people that the other side holds up to be the greatest are the least. The least moral. And so that's why I say there's a spiritual element. Look at the coin, but turn it around. The grass is always greener on the other side, I say, but we are the other side.
Yeah, but there are better candidates than Donald Trump. If you
No,
look at
there's
the other
never
parties.
been. But John F. Kennedy said it in his inauguration. I would venture to say that nobody in this time and place would trade places with other times and other places than to be here.
Right.
We were called to be here. And at this moment in time, I tell you, the deck could not have been stacked better. Because everybody says through the prism that this being a pig, a chauvinistic pig, the worst among us, the most morally obscure man. And yet he, in the American pageant, has shown more fortitude than any man could ever have. He's been shot at. He's been called every name of the book. He's been had every cop go after him. And he's taken it all. He has lived the song, he did it my way. We all esteem to do things my way. This man's actually doing it in real time. And he's so great that we can't see the forest for the trees, because our hate and our contempt for him is so great that we can't say, man, this is one badass American.
Is that what you're saying, Jesse, right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's Donald Trump.
So that's why I'm so happy. That's why I'm so happy. Because when people knock you down, I heard you a couple days say, that makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And that is the definition of Donald Trump. You kick him, you talk bad about him, and he'll be cleaner. You say he's a chauvinistic pig, and he'll love and help women more. Mm-hmm. Everything you throw at this guy, he just makes it better. You throw lemons, he makes lemonade. You throw bricks, he builds buildings.
I get that. I agree with that. But if I could say the same thing about Watchtower, right? And I can demand more, that they should be held accountable, that they should be, criminalized with the abuse and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. We could say the truth when we say that Watchtower has roots in Zionism and things like that. I see the exact same thing in the political world. And with Donald Trump, he does have some elements of pro-Israel and Zionistic, characteristics, which I don't like, which is the only reason why I'm like, okay, yeah, he sounds like a great guy. He sounds like he's America first, but I do not like it when they have put other countries above ours.
Where on earth can you find absolute zero?
No, you can't.
It doesn't exist. Perfection doesn't exist.
But there are better people. There are better people that I say America first.
I gave a good argument that there isn't anybody looking at spiritually. There is nobody. Jesus said that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And that's the irony of America. We take the worst and we make it the best. We should be rejoicing. This is a happy day. Remember, like the Black spiritual song says, oh, happy day.
Yeah.
When chauvinism won. This is a happy day.
So hold on. So Ruby, I mean, you'll understand this because you're from New York and I don't. Jesse doesn't understand this either. That comment that you made about Donald Trump with the Jews, like I don't know anything about the Jews. I've never been around one. I've seen them on 16th Street in Bethany Home, on Friday night, walking up and down the street. That's as much as I know about the Jews. Mm-hmm. So, but New York is different, isn't it? New York. Yeah. I mean, you can't go to the bathroom without running into a Jew.
Yeah, same thing in our government.
Well, all I'm saying is that don't you think that would affect Donald Trump's or anybody in East Coast and West Coast also, everyone down in the middle, all of us that live in Kansas or Texas, whatever, we don't see these Jews. So when the comment that you made, Donald Trump has to coexist with them. They're all over. He's building buildings with them. He's contracting with them. He's building golf courses and their members.
Mm-hmm.
So is it not? I'm just saying, is it not? It's only going to be natural that he's going to have some kind of contact with them.
Yeah, but just like the Democratic panders to Black people, he doesn't have to pander to Israel. It should be America first and America only. And if you look at even they have infiltrated our government. A bunch of them that are in government that have dual citizenship in other countries, especially Israel. Why do they even have dual citizenship in a position in government? That's what makes me think.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna be the last person to defend the Jews, and also because I don't know anything about them. But I'm not gonna criticize them because you just mentioned the Blacks. Let's say the Blacks were very powerful in banking or whatever, stuff like that. I'm not gonna lump in all of the Blacks because a couple of Blacks are doing this. I'm not going to lump in, just because what I'm saying is I don't think, I do believe that there's secret societies and everything, but I don't believe that every Jew is, I don't want to,
But look, let me just tell you about the irony of ironies on this subject. Isn't it ironic that this man who's supposed the friend of Israel, supposed that he's been contaminated. He's doing real good, but this is his Isn't it funny that most of the people that we're talking about are not going to vote for Donald Trump? Everybody knows that the American Jews are not going to vote for Donald Trump. You think Chuck Schumer likes Donald Trump?
No.
Do you think American Jews like Donald Trump? Think about that. I don't know Jews. Like I'm a Mexican. We never run around with Jews. We don't know them a lot. But I do
that's
know
what I'm
that.
saying. The point is, it should be American. It doesn't matter what race you are or what nationality you are. It should be American. So if you are having any type of involvement in our government, then you should not have a dual citizenship in any other country. You should just be American. But they have Israel interests in our government, and that's why they are sending the money and weapons, just like the same thing in Ukraine. There's other interests around the world, and we are last.
I'm not denying that, but here's the thing. So just going with Jesse says, again, I don't know, but this is what we have today. We have Lebanese and Jewish people killing each other. Donald Trump is president, and the Lebanese and the Jewish people are not killing each other. So there has to be. So I don't think that Donald Trump's involvement with the Jews is as nefarious as people make it out to be.
Ruby's right, though. It has infiltrated. Yes, we understand that point. But Donald Trump was able to keep it at peace. And you know, it's funny because look at where is Paradise Earth, Ruby?
We are in paradise right now.
It's called the Democrat Party because Jews and Gentiles and Arabs work hand in hand. You have Chuck Schumer working with that girl from Minnesota. What's her name? The one that the squad.
Yeah.
So here, so the Democrat Party, they've actually have figured out a way to make Jews and Muslims, who are mortal enemies over there, but somehow they're bed buddies in Washington.
And the LGBT also in that club of 5 girls, you know, the Rat Pack type girls.
Yeah, you can't be LGBT in Iran. You can't be in the Sudan, in any Muslim country. But in the Democrat Party, you guys can all sit at the same table.
Because they're paying them.
Yes, but they all share power. In any other place in time, except in the United States Democrat Party, they would be mortal enemies, killing each other like they're doing over there in the Middle East.
And they hate Donald Trump. So that hatred that they have for Donald Trump is just going to make me just side on caution with Trump. Like, I don't believe that Donald Trump is in some kind of secret society group with the Jews or no, I really do believe, because this is what Donald Trump does not believe in the Constitution or the Bible like you and I do. He's like Jesse and I, we address this, that he's not an ideologue. He's more pragmatic about everything. And so I think when Donald Trump thinks about the Jews, he's not going into some secret meeting. He just wants happiness for everyone. Donald Trump wants to build a golf course in Israel and Lebanon, and he doesn't want to steal the Gazans' property like his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who said that he's going to build condos in Gaza Strip. Donald Trump's not like that. Donald Trump told the North Korean dictator, hey, we can build condos here. You got beautiful property. He wants the best for everyone. So I think that, so the point I'm trying to make is that I do not think that Donald Trump's interest with the Jews is any different than our wanting everyone to be happy. That's how I view it. I may be wrong, though.
No, I agree. And let me throw you something. It's not proof. It's not proof. It's just something that I've seen with my eyes. I was at a party the other day, not a party, but a meeting of a Republican Party. And my sister-in-law was there, and the county GOP. And everybody was mingling. The meeting hadn't started, and it was in a public place, and it was a meeting. And some Mexican gangbangers walk in, lowrider guys. And gangbangers, totally out of place. But in this place, you had black, Mexican, and white Republicans in a building. You don't see that a lot. You're starting to see that. So these gangbangers walk in, and they look lost. And my sister-in-law told the chairman, hey, go see what those guys want. Go help them. He goes up there, can I help you guys? He goes, yes, where do we register to vote? They wanted to become Republicans.
Nice.
These are gangbangers type, cholos.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing the tent grow. And this is what us old timers are talking about: expanding the tent, make the tent grow. The Democrat Party did it a long time ago. We kicked their ass in 1863. It was called the Civil War. We Republicans beat the Democrats. We stopped slavery. But the Democrat Party expanded through other means, and they outgrew us in many ways. What you're seeing right now is also a correction in the party. What you're seeing, like what you were saying, who has infiltrated the party, you are right. But now through the grassroots, hardworking people are coming in. Middle class people, people who aren't part of the good old boy network are coming in. The tent is growing with working class people. We had Bobby Kennedy came over. We had that girl, that real pretty girl. What was her name, Gilbert? Tulsi Gabbard came in. We have Sarah Palin. We have Elon Musk just gave a talk today. We have Democrats all over the place saying, you know what? We're not going to be over there. And they're taking over the Republican Party. And a lot of those people that you're talking about are leaving. The John McCains are leaving. The Dick Cheneys are leaving. George Bush ain't even going to vote for us. We who gave everything for George W. Bush, he's not even going to vote for us. And so there's an alignment happening. But here's the thing. Us Republicans who have been fighting for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, we know things are slow in the Republican Party. Ronald Reagan. You think Ronald Reagan was loved in the Republican Party?
No.
They hated Reagan. They tried to kill Reagan. The people loved Reagan. So us Republicans, us working class people, we're not Republicans. We understand that the Republican Party is just a tool that we use. And Donald Trump understands that. He's not a Republican. He's not an ideologue. But he understands that he has to join this party to get things done. It's like a carpenter. He uses a hammer. Doesn't mean he's going to make love to the hammer. It's just he knows that it's a tool he needs to get a job done.
Right. And speaking of getting a job done, you have people like this guy here, who's just negative. And this is why I say the person, if you guys ever want to see it, it's translated in English. But Bukele just gave a speech to his military in El Salvador. And he talks about people like this. He talks about people that are always complaining, and he's over here, Jesse, he's over here revitalizing the Capitol building. And in all of these major cities in El Salvador, they're revitalizing, but it takes time. And he goes, all he's surrounded with is a bunch of people that are complaining, but they never look at all of the things that they're accomplishing. All they do is focus on the complaint. So you have people like this guy who's always complaining that Donald Trump's just a businessman, and guess what? We're being poisoned. And so Donald Trump can't fix all of the problems. So he assigned Kennedy, who says, make America healthy again. So it's a brick by brick by brick. It has to be built. But everyone thinks that Donald Trump or Harris is going to have a magic wand and fix all of our problems. And what you're talking about, and Bukele was talking about, no, this is a job in progress. You can't just kick out John McCain overnight. You can't just kick out Romney overnight. It's a process. And you're seeing it right now. And we either join on that bandwagon, we join on the road of actual productivity, or we join on the road of constant negativity, is what I'm saying.
And you know what? I got on a magic carpet ride, Ruby. I got on my magic carpet ride like Aladdin. And I went to February 2025, and Donald Trump had been inaugurated, and Donald Trump, we had the ball and everything. And then I was getting a coffee at Starbucks, and I went out and I bought the New York Times. And you know what the front page said?
What?
Donald Trump has just been in office like about 7 days. And the top story, it says, Donald Trump has been in office 7 days, and he hasn't balanced the budget.
Uh-huh.
After Kerry spends trillions and trillions of dollars, these people are never going to be happy. They're never going to be happy. If Donald Trump were to come out tomorrow and say, you know what, guys, water is good for you, maybe 50% of the Democrats would fall out of dehydration.
Yeah. Okay, so two things. My first thing is, I agree with everything that you guys said. They're gonna use the anger that people, the hatred. They hate Donald Trump more than they love America, and then they're gonna make you believe the same way that they do. You're gonna be voting for your own demise. But the second thing is for me is like, okay, so Donald Trump has all of these great, great characteristics and all his flaws and all. But if he knows they hate him and they're trying to kill him anyways, then why not go full blown conservative Republican, like, like to his supporters? Because my thing is with the Israel stuff, he has not denounced what Israel's doing. And second, Melania just came out saying like she basically supports abortion, so they're obviously not conservative, and she's supposedly supposed to be Catholic. So I don't really believe that these people are Christian. I don't really believe in the things that they say, but that makes me a little sad that they would continue to like bend the knee or pander to our quote unquote allies. Meanwhile, they're over there killing people with our money. Why not do what, be real America first and just be the president for America that America actually needs?
Okay, let me have a crack at it. Gilbert, do you want to crack at it?
No.
Okay. I'm a pragmatist, and I have a 4-year track record and a 4-year track record. We have a 4-year track record of Biden. And look, I just need one word answer. 4-year track record, Ruby, Biden or Trump?
Trump.
Okay. I'm just being pragmatic here. On abortion, on the border, on gas, on energy, on Israel, I'm just being a pragmatist.
If you ran a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you need a CEO, who are you going to hire? Trump.
The best.
Yeah, you're going to hire Trump, the best.
Yes, does he has diarrhea of the mouth. We know that, Ruby. We're with you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got a question because it was you guys, we can keep going, but here's the thing.
Okay.
In a half an hour, The Substance is playing, which is a Demi Moore movie. It's a horror flick. Wow. Demi Moore is beautiful. She's a model and everything, but she has this thing, this shot, and it turns and she takes it and she becomes like a 24-year-old bombshell. But the problem is that she has to keep taking it. It's a horror flick. And it's like remember I Am Legend where they say that.
Yes, and Rapunzel, her mother had to keep taking her power to stay young.
So this is a horror flick, and I want to watch it, but there was this comment on one of the videos, and it says that this guy says that he saw the movie, and he walked out, and he just sat down for 15 minutes, like, what the hell did I just see? And he was thinking, like, are they trying to tell us like what the future holds? And like with the Ozempic pills, people, the weight loss thing, people are popping pills. And I want to see this movie, but I'm scared. I'm scared before I'm even watching the movie. Should I go see it?
Yeah, you got me wanting to go see it now.
Is it in theaters or online?
It's in theaters. I got to go see this. And I like Demi Moore, I mean, she's from our generation and stuff, but.
Hey, Gilbert, are you going to take your girlfriend, the Chinese one, or the Tourette syndrome?
Well, the Tourette syndrome will be yelling at me and stuff, and the Chinese one, man, she's a gold digger, man. Yeah.
You know what the problem is with dating a Chinese woman?
She's beautiful, though.
I know, but you always get hungry right at a few minutes later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll show you a picture of her. You want to see a picture of her?
Yeah. Hey, wait, if you can't find one, I got one in my wallet. Oh.
I shouldn't show a picture of her, huh? No, I shouldn't.
Yes.
Hey, Ruby, those were good questions. I wrote them down and everything. Those are very good questions. But
oh no.
Yeah, very good questions. And you know what it shows also? It shows your maturity, because you don't want to be cheated on, lied about, and it hurts, huh? When you're politician.
It's because I know there's better people out there, but since Trump is so popular and he got the money behind him, he's most likely going to win. So if he knows that and he knows they hate him anyways, then why not just come out with how you really feel and want to defend America? Because I feel like he's holding back. I want him to go full throttle America first. And I'm also getting red pilled on the Zionists and the Jews and the whole Hitler stuff. I'm doing research. I'm reading stuff about that, and I'm understanding now why Hitler did what he did. I'm understanding World War II now. So that's the research that I'm doing now.
Okay, slow down, because me and Gilbert don't understand what does red pilled mean.
Red pilled means like you're getting the facts finally. You know, like when in the Matrix he says you want the blue pill or the red pill. The red pill is going to wake you up to a lot of things you didn't think. You know, like you said, the truth is stranger than fiction. I think you said that phrase. It's similar to that. Once you take the red pill, you finally realize that we've been lied to about literally everything that we thought we knew was true. Same thing with the organization, same thing in the world and in politics.
Yeah. I guess, you know what? The reason why I have a little bit thicker skin is because I remember, read my lips, no new taxes. And the first thing he did is raise taxes. So we've always been lied to all of our lives. You know, they'll always lie.
Right. And the reason why they lie to us is because they don't want us to know the truth. Because if we actually knew the truth, then we will be in the streets, you know, demanding better from our government. That's what I want. I want the truth and I want better.
But I really think that of all the politicians I remember in my lifetime, the one who didn't lie to us is Donald Trump. I mean, like when he said he was going to move when he was going to move it, and when he talked to the terrorist, and he says, here's a picture of your house. It's going to be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really believed it. I really believe he's the only one who sat down with Byung-Young Kim. Why couldn't Bill Clinton have done that? Why couldn't George W. Bush done that? Why couldn't Bill Clinton or Barack Obama? Even the world's greatest tyrant at that time, Byung-Young Kim. Donald Trump had a relationship with that guy. That's never been seen we haven't seen that in our lifetime. He went over there and made friendship with the guy.
Yeah, peace
no
is
other
possible.
politician has done that. Yeah.
No. Who wanted to meet who?
It was Byung-Young Kim wanted to meet Trump, huh?
That's right. He wanted to meet.
And listen, the truth is stranger than fiction. Who was the ambassador? Come on, man. We know it was Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, yeah.
So sometimes we don't need politicians. We need freaks. You know, Donald Trump's a freak, but he's my freak. He's our freak. And that's what we are as Americans. You think the ones that wrote the Constitution were politicians? They were farmers.
Right. But that tells us everything we need to know, that even the average man can do better than a politician. There are better people out here that can do it, but they keep us down.
Yeah. And here's another thing, Ruby. What happened with P. Diddy, right? You've done your search. Okay. Don't you think that's happened in the halls of Congress and that? So a lot of people can't act because a lot of us have become compromised. All of our brothers and sisters. Even the Jehovah's Witnesses are compromised, like the others. Yeah. They see the organization being retarded and be retarded, Jehovah's organization, and they stay in. Why? Because they led people to death in the blood policy.
Yeah, but who told you to do that? Ain't nobody told you to be a degenerate. Ain't nobody told you to be leading souls to damnation. Ain't nobody told you to be doing illegal things. That's your fault.
Yes, but they're compromised is what I'm saying. They've sold their soul to Watchtower. They're owned.
Yeah. They need to go. That's what needs to happen. They need to go.
Yeah, if there was love and if they were love, for example, the governor of Arizona, if she really loved Arizona, she was Secretary of State, she counted the vote, and there was questions about it. If she really loved our state, she would say, you know what, I'm going to back off and let's bring an independent auditor.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Mike Pence, and he didn't do it.
And John F. Kennedy says, ask not what your country could do for you, ask what you could do for your country.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's doing that. If you really love your country and you're compromised, just step aside. Let somebody clean come in.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Hey, so yeah, just
okay, Gilbert.
No, I think I am going to watch the movie. So
okay, let's shut it down because I'm going to go watch the movie too. You got me.
I know. So I want to ask you guys this.
Okay.
Can anybody give me an answer to this?
A cop pulls over you. Did he bust?
Mm-hmm. See, these are the thought-provoking questions we come up with here. If a cop pulls over you, did he bust a move?
Yeah.
I mean, that's powerful.
You know, they say that with the hurricane and everything, it's messing up all the move in the dock and everything. And Federal Express and UPS have joined forces to avoid bankruptcy. Did you know that, Ruby?
I did not.
Yeah, that's a big merger.
What
They're gonna
happened?
be called Fed. They're gonna be called Fed Up.
Fed up? Fed ups?
No. Yes.
Fed up. Yeah. There's no that thing. And what did Dan Clark say about the about that comment he was making? Do you remember? Because
Yeah, Dan Clark talked about it. Real good stuff.
what did he say?
I can't remember,
Oh,
but
maybe-
I did it earlier in the show. We were talking about it.
Mhm.
But I'm not red pilled, so I can't remember
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I
All
purpose.
right.
I purposely. All right. Ruby, I purposely don't watch that movie. Didn't watch
Which
Have a
one?
good night, guys.
the Red Pill movie. All right.
Oh, the red pill movie. Okay. Good night, Ruby. All right.
What do you
Hey,
think,
Gilbert,
Jess?
so I gotta go see what the movies is. What did you say the movie's called?
It's called The Substance with Demi Moore. And in the movie, so she's like this. She's like a supermodel, right? Like in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and but she's like a supermodel in Hollywood, and she's aging. So what's happening is she's given an opportunity to be young again.
Okay.
And-
Well, I'm gonna go look for it.
Check this out. So I don't have sound because of the copyright thing, but you see,
Oh.
so she's
Yeah.
seeing herself, and she's old news now. She's a has-been, but she's not. She's beautiful. She's Demi Moore. So she
Right.
takes the shot, and now she's some like voluptuous babe,
Wow.
but she has to keep taking the shots. So
Hey, wait, go back.
what?
She looked like Mitch.
Oh yeah, she looked like
Mhm.
Mitch, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was Mitch, but
Okay, Gilbert. I'll talk to you later then.
okay.
I'm gonna bail out.
Bail out because I got about 5 more minutes. I'll be 5-10 more minutes. I'll be you got to go to the theater. But see, Debbie, I'm scared before the movie has even gone on. The movie is scaring me before I'm even watching it. That's how good the trailer is. And it's very gory, and people are walking out of the movie because it's so gory. Is that true? I blame Ashton Kutcher. Is it? I didn't even see what it's rated. So, you got to go see that movie. And you know what the thing is? I like to be able to go into bed, and this is what I'm thinking about doing it today, because I don't want to watch it tomorrow, because I like going into bed and sleeping. Like I like sleep like that. And that's one of the great things about learning the truth about the truth, and openly confessing your sin. You know what? I don't have to worry. I go to bed. I don't owe anybody anything. I'm not covering up child molesters. I'm not in judicial committees, all that stuff. I sleep with a clean conscience. I think the Bible talks about it with Proverbs or Solomon, that that the wicked people, they can't sleep because of all of their wickedness. Their wickedness don't let them sleep. So that's where I'm at with this movie. But I love Demi Moore's movies, and we're about the same age. So when she was making movies in her teenage years, Jesse and I, what movie? The Substance. The Substance. I can't show you the trailer because of the copyright thing. But look it up, the trailer, Demi Moore, and it'll scare you. And it's kind of like the movie with Will Smith, I Am Legend, where they take the shot that cures cancer, and then everybody turns into a zombie. And then people were saying, well, that was predicting the future of the COVID vaccine. That was funny. And I don't know. So people are saying that this movie about being young again, altering your DNA and turning you young again, that is like what's happening right now with these weight loss drugs and and what other things are coming, what other medication is in the pipeline, and they're prepping. And so I don't know if that's true, but that scares me. It says, I just can't watch a scary movie. Me too. Me too, Demi. I don't like scary movies, but this one is scary in a different form. This is like, this is what the medical professionals are with white lab coats are doing to you. And it scares the bejesus out of me. So I got a few votes. We're dwindling in numbers because it's late night. Oh, guys, I think Apasta Babe is on. So make sure you go and give Apasta Babe some love and watch it on her channel. I quit scary movies with Alien. I believe you there. So wow. So also we took a slot for Dick and Connie, and we have to. What's her channel name? Apasta Babe. Apasta Babe. Linda. Yeah, just and really, did you see it, Debbie? Did you see it? I don't know. But yeah, we definitely need to pray for all of the people over there, and also people like Jimmy Bell and others that are. And you never know, uh, we might be in their shoes at one day too. So it's always been. George Norrie. I don't have. See if I have. I don't think I have a picture of him. Let me see if I think I do have a picture of him. There's this guy. His name's George Norrie. He has a Coast to Coast. And here it is. I should put it under Norrie. Let me pull it up. Add to stage. George Norrie says there's no such thing as coincidence. He has a Coast to Coast radio network all over the United States at nighttime. Talks about UFOs and everything. But he talks about, like, in hurricane situations like right now, whether you believe in God or not, that the power in prayer, the power of collective thought, and everybody just whatever it is you do, whether it's praying or something else, people like Dick and Connie and or Jimmy Bell, who's not going through anything but who has the ability to help out. We pray for people like that. I think that's where we're at, and that's why you're watching our show so early. So I think it's a good reminder that that's what we all have to do. We all should. We really should do that. Before we go to bed tonight, pray for our brothers over there. I read the reviews on it. Oh, okay. No. No atheist in a foxhole. That's true. Nori gets on my nerves. I still miss Art Bell. Now sleep and hear Red Eye on podcasts. No ads. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. So, guys, the substance. I'm gonna go alone because I don't want to spend $50. That's how much it'll cost, like $50, and then I have to take a girl, and then she's like, jeez, it's not showing in Yuma. Oh no. Speaking of that, Jesse has been known to drive 3 hours to Phoenix. When you're in Yuma, you drive 3 hours either to San Diego or to Phoenix to do different shopping and stuff. So Jehovah's Witnesses in Yuma would drive to San Diego and drive to Phoenix, spend the night. But guess what they would do? To go watch certain movies, because you didn't want to go to the movie theater and then all the Jehovah's Witnesses watching you go into, oh, you're going to see that movie, or you're watching a rated R movie and there's 3-4 elders, also in there. You guys all have to have, hush hush. So if Jesse might have to come to Phoenix to watch it. The Trump movie is in Yuma. I never missed a John Travolta movie. That's a good one. So, okay, guys. I'll let you know. Maybe I should do a review on the movie, huh? That's what we'll do. I'll do a review on the movie tomorrow. What do you think about that? I'll do a review on the movie tomorrow, God willing. And tell you if you should watch The Substance. Man, I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm getting ready to go. Yes, review it. I'm telling you, Ruby, I'm scared, man. And I haven't even gotten in my car, and I'm scared. Jehovah's Review of The Substance. Oh, wow, that'll be a good one. Good night, everybody, and thank you for joining. And I will see you guys on the next one. We'll see if we can get Rick Farron. Rick! Everybody yell Rick! We're done. This movie was so hot. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna close out the screen, and Rick will close it out. All right. Talk to you guys later. Oh, there he is. Hey, Rick. No, he's not there. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow when I do the Jehovah reviews. The Substance.